welcome to episode 3 of the 10-Minute Marks. I am Jeff.
And I'm Paul.
And today we're going to be covering the most infamous date in wrestling in the last 10 years, January 4th, 2010. Hulk Hogan debuts on TNA. Bret Hart returns to the WWE. What will become of it all? And to cover the WWE part of things, I will shoot things over to Paul.
Okay, first of all, we had discussed Bret Hart joining the WWE and Hogan joining TNA and what the good and the bad could be. And as far as Monday Night Raw is concerned, it was one of the best ones I've watched in a really long time. For one thing, he got both of us, but he mentioned it, got our wish that Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart made up. And in fact, I read an article where they were pretty emotional about it backstage, and things go along really well. I loved it. There was 3 promos that Bret did that night. The first one he was making up with Shawn. The second one he did was with Chris Jericho, one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, period. And where he tried to get Bret to screw Shawn in the tag team match, and Bret said no. And then, of course, he had the ending segment with Vince, where Vince kicked him in the groin, and that pretty much just set up a storyline, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's good that he's going to be around till April. I about cried when him and Shawn first got in the ring together. When he called Shawn out, and Shawn actually came out. I really wanted to say I'm really glad they didn't cut that off. It sounded very real to me, and in fact, in the Calgary Sun article he mentioned that he read to me, it was very real in the ring. They said exactly how they feel, how they felt back then, and to me that was just awesome, because the more reality you bring into wrestling, for me, the better. Yeah. I thought that was awesome. I thought it was awesome they didn't cut it off. Apparently him and Shawn had a little meeting backstage where Shawn apologized, and that was the best thing I could hear. I mean, this is 12 years coming for me.
For both of us.
Yes. I've been looking for this for a long time. The 2 guys that, as you know, I'm a big Rockers fan, so seeing him and Marty in the ring together was awesome. And it's only bested by seeing him and Bret in the ring together shaking hands.
Absolutely. And I loved how they kept it pretty much equal in the ring. It wasn't like Bret was down or Shawn was down. It was pretty much they said their piece, shook hands, hugged, and that was it. Exactly. Nobody insulted or they didn't take too much offense to the negative things that were said about them. And neither one of them apologized in the ring. I know that's something you wanted to mention, but... that's all right.
But they did keep it really equal, and I was glad for that too. As far as the rest of Raw goes,
it was pretty good. Orton had an awesome match with Kofi and won. The only thing I didn't like probably was that Sheamus dominated Evan Bourne, another one of my favorites. They kind of he just jobbed to him. Right. But that's really the only one I can think of that I didn't like.
Right. I thought they could have done Evan Bourne, and I'm really disappointed in how they're treating Evan Bourne. He is way too talented for him to be jobbing like that. I mean, he should have had way more offense in the match. If he loses, he loses. Hey, that's fine. Yeah. But he doesn't need to be squashed like that. That's just ridiculous to me. Any other thoughts on WWE?
Oh, that's all I can think of right now. Besides, I hope they do an awesome storyline and with Bret, and hopefully it's probably going to be hinted that Bret and Vince will probably go at it in the near future or at WrestleMania. Right. So.
And we did want to say thank you to TNA for providing this.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been rumored for like 3 or 4 months now, but it's also been rumored that Hogan's going to be in TNA for a little bit longer. So it's good to see. One thing we wanted to say is thank you, TNA, for giving the WWE the competition and because that's one thing that's been missing the past 10 years.
Absolutely.
Is real life competition for the WWE, and I think the WWE has suffered because of that. Yes. So we're really hoping that TNA can keep up the competition for the WWE so that WWE has something to work with, or something to work against. Yeah. The whole Attitude Era came about because of WCW and ECW, and that's one of the best eras of wrestling, period. Yeah. So we're really hoping that TNA can keep up the competition and give something for WWE to work against. After that positive thing I've said about TNA, I'm going to go completely the opposite direction. The Hulk Hogan debut. I think that if their first episode with Hulk Hogan is any indication, TNA is dead. Straight up dead.
Yeah.
There's nothing that can save it now. The first match on TNA was the Steel Cage Asylum, the Steel Asylum match, which I think should be banned. I don't think they should ever do that match again, period.
Never.
I think there's too much of a risk of injury. I think it's too difficult to win. It takes too long. It takes the guy 5 minutes just to get up the top of the cage. And that's if he doesn't fall, right? Homicide?
Yeah.
You can't see much in the ring with all those bars around. You can't, that center camera doesn't offer much to view.
No.
They should have kept it an Ultimate X match. That way they can have a clean finish within the 8 minutes that it was provided.
And why was it called a no limits match? And then Homicide hits his own partner with like a baton or whatever it was.
Whatever it was, some kind of weapon.
And they called a no contest.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to have a no limits X Division match and then call the whole match off? That makes no sense.
And the crowd kept chanting bullshit and they kept cutting it out so the audio would cut out because they didn't want the fans on free TV.
Right.
Oh my God.
That whole match was just a debacle. They should have kept it an Ultimate X match because with 3 tag teams in there, you figure one of them could team up enough to take the X down or the suitcase down or whatever they put up there. The part with Hogan and Jeff Jarrett.
Oh man.
That was a debacle as well. I don't know how it was scripted. I don't know how it was supposed to come off, but it came off totally wrong. You're an hour and a half into the show, having Hogan as your top face all of a sudden.
Yeah.
The crowd's going crazy for him, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. That's the way it should be. But then to turn him heel, kind of, halfway through the first show, do we really want to do that?
No.
Do you really want to call out the founder of TNA, Jeff Jarrett, in the middle of your show? That was the first mistake. Second mistake is, if you're going to call out the founder and you're going to ridicule him, get your facts straight. The whole time he was griping about Jeff Jarrett leaving room for the young guys. Let's go down your list of champions here. AJ Styles, not exactly a 10-year vet. ODB won the knockout title. Serena and Taylor Wilder, the TNA Knockout Tag Champs. The British Invasion are the Tag Champs. Amazing Red, who's been around for like 3 months, is your X Division champ. And you're telling me that we should leave room for the young guys? When you're bringing in no less than 11 guys.
Yep.
11!
Jeff Hardy, Orlando Jordan.
Val Venus.
Yeah.
The Nasty Boys. Good Lord. Those guys have been around for 20 years.
Yeah. And he said, like, I know you're the founder of TNA, but who cares? No one cares.
Yeah, no one cares.
It's like,
okay, sure, whatever.
I never thought I'd be defending Jeff Jarrett, but I am.
I've never been a big fan of Jeff Jarrett either, but he must have been totally dumbstruck by the stuff Hogan was saying.
Yeah.
No, counting Bubba Love Sponge and Eric Bischoff, Hulk Hogan brings in this one episode, 11 guys. Ric Flair as well. And Ric Flair never even got a hold of the mic.
Yeah, he just came out during the Styles Kurt Angle match.
Exactly.
Which was a good match.
Which was a great match. But, to our next point, why take your main event on your next pay-per-view and put it on free TV and make it a 30-minute awesome match with a clean finish?
That was stupid.
That makes no sense.
That ticked me off a little bit.
Yeah, it did me too. I mean, why? You're taking your main event from pay-per-view and taking it off of your pay-per-view, basically. I mean, there's stuff you can do with it now. You can have Kurt Angle come back and win, which, whatever. But you're going to have a clean finish to a match that should have been on a pay-per-view. I don't get it.
It's like, where are you going to go from there?
It was an awesome match, but it shouldn't have been on Impact. It should have been on Genesis.
Or have it in a DQ or a no contest.
Exactly.
And that way leave it open for the pay-per-view.
Exactly. Yeah. Or, have a tag team match, just whatever. One more thing I wanted to go over was the fact that Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan, about an hour into the show, get out there and they tear up the script. They tear up the production script. Mm-hmm. Okay, if you're going to make friends in the organization, you don't go around wanting to change everything like everything sucked to begin with. Basically what you are saying is, we're going to change everything because we think everything sucked before.
Yeah.
How is that going to make you any friends? Even if it's a work, if it's a work, you're setting yourself up as a heel, which goes against my previous point.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
So.
Not to mention, what is that painting the TNA product as before?
Exactly. What does that say about the previous TNA product? It makes no sense. But with that said, there were a couple matches. The TNA Knockout Tag match was decent, and the Kurt Angle AJ Styles match was awesome.
And D'Angelo De Niro
and Desmond Wolf was a good match. I'm hoping they don't bury the Pope now.
I'm hoping they don't.
But with that, we will end episode number 3. Look out for episode number 4. We're going to do a double take today. Do episode number 4, new Wrestler of the Decade. So just peek over there and then hit episode number 4, and we will go over who we think was the wrestler of the 2000s.
Absolutely. Stay tuned. Don't go away.
Thank you very much.